In this episode, we continue exploring the Great Plains of Nebraska, traveling through some of the forgotten prairie towns born during our country's expansion to the west, and ultimately to see Chimney Rock and the Scotts Bluff National Monument. From Florida to Alaska, from the East Coast to the West Coast, join Jane and Steve celebrating their 50th wedding anniversary, traveling across North America in the Cool Nana Coach, their 27-foot 4 Freedom Elite Class C motorhome, as they visit the many beautiful points of interest in all 50 United States on their golden anniversary adventure. In our last episode, we left the famed Lewis and Clark Trail at the Missouri Basin Lewis and Clark Memorial and Visitor Center just off State Highway 2, south of Nevada City, and turned west to visit central Nebraska. We toured Kearney, Grand Island, and finally North Platte. We now had our sights on the famed Chimney Rock and Scotts Bluff National Monuments located in western Nebraska. It was a pleasant 175-mile drive on state and county roads, taking us along the BSNF rail route, passed by several somewhat forgotten prairie towns of the Great Plains region of the United States. We drive on U.S. Route 30 from North Platte, passing Hershey, Sutherland, Paxton, and finally turning northwest on US 26 at Ogallala. Each of these quaint prairie towns are today farming communities bordering the nearby North Platte River and the BNSF Railroad, servicing the local grain industry and providing a main route for the mile-long coal trains headed to the rail classification yard at North Platte. It's amazing to see the enormous amounts of coal being transported on the railroad.
Please hit that subscribe button so that you'll be notified as our future episodes are released and help us build our channel. And please tell your friends about us and invite them to join us for our future episodes.
Just before the town of Lewellen, Nebraska, State Highway 92 joins US 26, and we continue our trek northwest, passing through Oshkosh, Broadwater, Lisco, and Dalton, farming communities all visibly impacted by the recent pandemic, as evidenced by their boarded-up stores, shops, and gas stations. It's a sad sight that unfortunately we will see often in the weeks ahead as we continue on the road to Alaska. As we pass through the town of Dalton, we pass by the town's claim to fame Prairie Schooner Museum, known to have a large-scale model locomotive on site and an actual 19th century cabin. But like most of the town, it was closed. Nebraska State Highway 92 and US 26 takes us through the city of Bridgeport, home of the world's very first Subway restaurant shop. We travel further down the road and pass by the Chimney Rock National Historic Site, which is operated by the Nebraska Historical Society. We spot the half-mile-wide, 325-foot-high limestone pillar located just outside of Bayard, Nebraska. We'll pass by and return to see it tomorrow, as it's getting late and our planned base campsite is still another 30 miles away at Scotts Bluff. We arrive in Scotts Bluff, an oasis of sorts, after driving several hours through the sparsely populated Great Plains route from North Platte. Scotts Bluff is a city in Scotts Bluff County in the western part of the state, in the Great Plains region of the United States. With a population of 14,400, Scotts Bluff is the largest city in the Nebraska Panhandle and the 13th largest city in Nebraska. Riverside Campground. It's here where we get our very first taste of what we learn is called a washboard road, which we encounter on the entrance road to the campground. Washboarding, or corrugation of roads, comprises a series of ripples which occur with the passage of wheels rolling over unpaved roads at speeds sufficient to cause bouncing of the wheel on the initially unrippled surface and take on the appearance of a laundry washboard. The result is a shaky, bumpy ride that is, to say the least, uncomfortable. In the days ahead, we will drive over hundreds of miles of washboard roadways throughout Canada and Alaska. Campsite options are full hookup, water and electric, or primitive. Each campsite has a fire ring and a picnic table. Other amenities at Riverside Campground are free Wi-Fi and a bathhouse. Nearby in Riverside Park are playgrounds, a disc golf course, a dog park, and fishing ponds. Campers can also explore the Riverside Discovery Center, which is a zoo, on the walkway along the Monument Valley Pathway. The Scotts Bluff Monument is visible behind our campground, but it's a 15-mile drive to the entrance, and we'll wait until morning to tour that site.
If you like our videos, please hit that bell icon so you'll be informed when our next video is published.
We arrive at the park entrance, and our America the Beautiful Pass affords us free entry. A well-constructed replica Conestoga wagon, complete with several teams of oxen, greet us just outside the entrance to the visitor center.
Arrive at Scotts Bluff National Monument.
So you guys will take this road and go all the way to the top.
Okay.
Put you up about 800 feet and like really good weather today if you want to go up and hike a little and get pictures.
Shoot up the, while the sun is up there, I'm going to go up the mountain.
Sounds perfect. You guys have a good day.
Thank
you very much,
Bye.
Matt.
Bye. Have a good one.
The name is Matt.
Towering 800 feet above the North Platte River, Scotts Bluff has served as a landmark for peoples from Native Americans to emigrants from Oregon, California, and Mormon trails up to today's modern travelers. The North Overlook Trail provides an amazing view of the North Platte River Valley, the Badlands, and the cities of Scotts Bluff and Gering. The North Platte River Valley is 6 miles wide at this location. Before reservoirs were built, the flow of the river was much more variable and its channel was much more wider than it is now. The stark, barren, and deep ravines of the Badlands below were too difficult for wagons to traverse and forced wagon trains through Mitchell Pass instead. The Badlands were formed by rapid erosion of a sedimentary layer known as the Brule Formation. The Brule layer is quite soft and erodes easily, but retains enough lime so that once the water leaves the surrounding sediment, it compacts and hardens, leaving the moonscape.
What a gorgeous place.
This
Just
is amazing.
Unbelievable.
We're at the summit of Scotts Bluff National Monument, and it's just an incredible place.
I can imagine how the pioneers must have felt traveling on the covered wagons and coming up to this. This is the summit of Scotts Bluff. Originally, if you look over here, that pipe was originally covered with sandstone. And it slowly eroded away. And that was in 1933, the top of the metal survey post right in front of us was level with the rock surface. In just a few decades, you can see how much has eroded away.
The survey marker shows the highest elevation of Scotts Bluff to be 4,649 feet, or 1,417 meters above sea level. Natural and human erosion are working to reduce that figure.
You ready to head for Chimney Rock then, huh?
Let's go.
Let's go. Here we are. Back down the hills.
What? Can't we go faster?
I guess we can. Let's give it a try.
Let's roll.
We're headed out to visit Chimney Rock, but first, let's stop off at the Scotts Bluff Visitor Center and check out their wagon display and their indoor artifacts. Between 250,000 and 500,000 people made their way west from 1841 until 1869. The covered wagon was one of the main methods of transportation during this time period, often drawn by mules or oxen. The Conestoga wagon is probably the most familiar pioneer wagon to most of us today. It is often used in films and other media. This vehicle was the primary choice for freighting companies, shipping goods to the western frontier. Sleek and angular, with graceful curves, it was attractive to the eye. Sometimes a medium-sized variation of the Conestoga would be used by families traveling the Oregon Trail. Well, let's get into Equinox and Drive. It's 30 miles to Chimney Rock. Chimney Rock has become one of the most famous landmarks in the American West. The first recorded mention of Chimney Rock was in 1827 by Joshua Pilcher. he journeyed up the Platte River Valley to the Salt Lake rendezvous of the Rocky Mountain fur trappers. The first non-natives to see the pillar were probably the historians of Robert Stewart in the Eastern Journey from the Pacific Ocean back in 1813. During 1800s, Chimney Rock served as the most noted landmark along the Oregon, California, and Mormon trails. As the emigrants passed by this rock, most of them noted in their diaries or journals that they were glad to see that they were going in the right direction and inspired to the heavens. So intrigued were the emigrants that thousands climbed up the cone to carve their names on the tower. Though no inscriptions are known to survive today, there is ample written testimony that thousands of names once adorned the rock.
We hope you enjoyed traveling with us on our journey to Alaska. Scotts Bluff, Nebraska turned out to be a restful, enjoyable, educational, and scenic stop on our journey. In our next episode, we will cross into Wyoming to visit Fort Laramie and the Oregon Ruts on our golden anniversary adventure, The Road to Alaska.